It's no secret that AI is completely changing creative industries. Right now, there are people out there who are making serious money just by teaching marketing teams how to prompt video generation models like n8n, VO3, or Sora to create high-quality UGC ads and cinematic scenes. Why? Because it's way cheaper than hiring studios, actors, and equipment. So if you know how to prompt these models, it's a great opportunity. I'm not much of a prompting expert myself, so I built an automation that does it for me. It takes a video concept, uses GPT-5 to generate an optimized prompt, and sends it straight to Sora to generate the videos while I sleep. I'll show you exactly how to set this up with n8n and get higher quality outputs than ever before, no watermarks, and use Sora 2 for 6 times cheaper than through OpenAI directly. So what you're seeing here is a service called Kei API, and it allows us to use these video generation AI models in this playground area and also through an API, meaning we can easily connect it within our n8n automations. The reason we're using Kei instead of OpenAI is because it's much cheaper. You can see here on the pricing table, Sora is a fraction of the cost using Kei AI. And here is the automation that we're going to be building today. It's utilizing our Kei API to generate those Sora 2 videos automatically. We're going to walk through it real quick, but if you want to download this template for completely free, there's a link in the description to my community where you can download it for free. Anyway, let's walk through it. So first of all, we have the Google Sheets trigger that's going to be triggered anytime an update is made to this Google Sheet here. And also you can download this template in the description as well. So we have our product, our photo link, our features, our ideal customer, and video settings. So what you'll do is come in here, put in your product, put the photo link in, describe the features, describe the ideal customer the video will be targeting, and then describe the video setting, like where it's happening, the characters that are involved, stuff like that. Once that's done, you can mark it as ready to be processed, and the AI agent or the workflow is going to execute, and it's only going to include the rows that are ready to be processed. Those will be sent to our video prompt AI agent that's going to generate very optimized prompts for Sora 2. Those prompts will be sent to Sora 2 along with the photo link that you included in the Google Sheet, and that is going to start generating the video. The sheet will be updated with the generating status, and every 10 seconds, we're going to check if the video is done generating. It could take anywhere from a couple minutes to 5 minutes, something like that. So that's why we're checking every 10 seconds to see if it's done. Once it is done, the video link will be built, and it's going to then update the row in our sheet with the completed status and the video link that we can click on right away and view the video. As you can see, I've done a couple of test runs already. Let's check out this row right here. The product is 0 cal sparkling soda. The product link is on Cloudinary. Let me show you this. This was also generated with AI, by the way. And we have the features, the ideal customer is young adults, and we give it a video setting, a sunny afternoon at a park picnic. So let's check out the finished video link.
No way. 0 calories and it still tastes real.
No weird aftertaste. This is my new go-to.
That's awesome. Like, how did AI generate that? Pretty cool. Let me show you this first row for face wash. The features are all natural, young adults, video setting, young woman in front of a mirror holding up the product. Let's check out the finished video link.
Okay, this is the one I keep telling you about. It's just so good. It's all natural, super gentle, and it smells, oh wow. I swear I've tried everything for my skin, but nothing feels this simple. It just melts in.
Okay, I don't know if you call it that, but she did have 3 arms. Maybe that needs a little work, but you get the gist. This actually sounded really natural,
Super gentle,
just the way she's talking.
Oh.
So obviously you'll want to manually review these videos before posting anywhere to make sure the quality is up to your standards. The videos we'll be generating in this video are going to just use the Sora 2 base model because it's a bit cheaper and faster. But if you wanted really high quality UGC ads, you could easily switch to the Sora 2 Pro model. And later in the video, I'll show you how to switch that out really easily. So let's hop right into n8n and build this workflow step by step. First of all, you'll create a brand new workflow, give it a title. I named mine UGC Ads Tutorial. And as for our first step, that's going to execute our workflow. Like I said earlier, we want to execute the workflow anytime an update is made to our Google Sheet. So it's super simple. You'll click Add First Step and search for Google Sheets and then choose the On Row Added or Updated node. So first of all, you'll connect your Google account by creating a new credential. If you don't know how to do this, I have videos going over this. Then you'll hop down here to Document and choose it from the list. So choose the UGC ads, and this is the same document we have here. And then choose the sheet, which is ads. It's the only sheet we have in this document. And then as for the trigger, you'll want to keep it to row added or updated, and the include an output, include the new version, not the old version or both versions. So if I execute this step, you see we get all 3 items. A couple of these are marked as completed, but one is marked as ready. So we only want to send the ones that are ready to the next steps. So we're going to add another node in here called filter. And here we're going to drag in the status as the value 1, and we're checking if it's equal to value 2, which would be ready. So anytime a row is marked as ready, it'll move on to the next step. But if it's not, it'll be discarded. Okay, so if we execute this step, we see we get 1 item kept, since 1 item in here is marked as ready, and the 2 that are marked as completed are discarded. So now we'll take all those rows that are ready to be processed and send them to an AI agent. So for our next node, click the plus icon and search for the AI agent. And as for the source for prompt, we'll want to define that below. And this is the user prompt. So this is like what we're actually feeding the AI agent. So we'll want to feed it the product, the features, the ideal customer, and video settings. So what I'll do is define each one of these fields like so, with a colon, and drag in the input from the side like that. I'm going to do that for features and ideal customer and video settings. The reason I wouldn't want to do it for the photo link is because the photo link has nothing to do with actually generating the prompt. Okay, all we're going to do with the photo link is send it along with the prompt to the video generation API. Once that user message is done, we can move on to the system message, which is the actual instructions for the AI agent. We're telling it like how to behave, what it needs to do, what the output should look like, stuff like that. So we'll choose expression and open this up into a bigger view. And I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste what I've already written. So we have system message UGC Ad Video Prompt Engineer for Sora 2. We're telling it exactly what it needs to be and behave like. You're an expert AI UGC video prompt engineer trained to design authentic, cinematic, and emotionally engaging prompts for Sora 2 video generation. Then we're describing the structure to follow, the rules for crafting the prompt, the example input format, which is exactly what we defined in the user message, right? Product, features, ideal customer, and video settings, and then an example output. So I've added in the product, the features, the ideal customer, and video settings. So if I execute our workflow so far, let's see what happens. The AI agent has an error, but we do get the data here as the input. So now it's structured. You can see like so, product, cat food, features, all natural, premium quality, fancy, ideal customer, cat owners who want healthy and premium food for their cats, and video settings, golden retriever dressed as a butler serving the fancy cats the cat food. So that's going to be interesting to see the video that's generated. Anyway, let's deal with this issue real quick. A chat model subnode must be connected and enabled. So basically what we need to do is connect the brain of the agent. This is the LLM that we're going to be sending the user message and system message to process. So click the chat model plus icon here and search for OpenAI chat model. Then you're going to want to connect to your credential. All you need for this is an API key from OpenAI. If you want to know how to do that, then follow along the next 30 seconds. If you already have this, then skip ahead like 30 seconds. API platform, log in, go to your profile, click on billing, make sure you have some credit balance in here, like something like $5 will be enough. Go to API keys, click create new secret key, add in your name, select the project, and click create new secret key. Then you'll get an API key that you can copy and paste into this field and click save. Once you do that, you'll be able to select a model from this list. You can choose any of OpenAI's models here. In our case today, we're just going to use the GPT-5 mini. The mini models are a bit cheaper than the base models, so that's why we're using that. Click save, and then we'll run this again. And now that row is going to be processed by our AI agent, and it's going to take a little bit here to generate our prompt. I'll catch you when it's done. All right, the agent finished up generating, and it gave us this prompt that we're going to read a little bit of real quick. Late afternoon sunlight pours through tall living room windows, warming a cozy, slightly messy dining corner where 2 pampered indoor cats sit perched on velvet cushions like royalty. This is going to be an interesting video. All right, so let's move on to the next step. If you want to read that whole thing, you can go ahead and pause and read it, but we're going to move on. So click the plus icon and choose HTTP request. This is what we're going to use to communicate with our Kei API. So we're going to come to the Sora 2 Pro Text to Video page and go to API, scroll down and grab this curl request. So we can copy this and go back to our node and click import curl and paste that curl command and click import. And that's going to configure the node for us. But there are a couple of things that we're going to have to configure ourselves. One being the authorization bearer. As you can see here, we have the your API key as a placeholder, but we're going to need to actually grab our API key from Kei API. So go to Kei API and find the API key section here. Then there should be already one created for you. You can copy it and paste it into this field like so. So now we're going to be able to properly authenticate with our Kei API account from n8n. But doing it this way is not very good because anytime we create a new HTTP request, we're going to have to copy and paste our bearer API key, and that's not very ideal. So to fix that, you can go to authentication up here and choose generic credential type, and then select the bearer auth option and click create new credential. Then you'll copy and paste this bearer value like so into this bearer token field and click save after giving it a proper name like Kei API. Then click save. And now anytime you create a new HTTP request, you can just select this bearer auth token without having to copy and paste it like so down here. We can actually remove this and choose not to send headers. Next thing we're going to have to update is the body. So you can see here the body content type is JSON. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. And basically it's a standardized way of sending data over the internet. It's made up of key value pairs. So in this case, prompt would be the key and the value would be a happy dog running in the garden. Another example, the key would be aspect ratio and the value would be landscape. So this JSON here is what's being sent to our Kei API, and it's basically the configuration. It includes the aspect ratio, the frames, the size, and of course the prompt. Now I'm going to open this up into a bigger view by clicking expression and then this button here. And so the prompt is a happy dog running in the garden. Obviously, that's a hard-coded default value, and we're going to want to switch that out for our AI agent output dynamic value. So get rid of this and drag in the output like so. And now we can wrap this with double quotes because that's how JSON is structured. All the keys and values have double quotes surrounding them. There we go. We can see in the output that our prompt is surrounded by double quotes. But there is an issue. You can see there's double quotes within this message and line breaks, and stuff like that is going to actually mess up the JSON and it's going to make it so this HTTP request will fail. So to avoid that, we'll want to add this little function here called replace. And so it's going to go through and find all the instances of these double quotes and replace them with nothing. And it's also going to replace the line breaks. This thing right here, the \n, stands for a line break. And so that's going to replace all the line breaks with nothing, right? So if I remove this, you can see the line breaks are back and the double quotes are back. But if I add it, then it's all removed and we just have this one big blob of text, which is perfect. Now there's just one more thing we have to do, which is include the image URLs in this request. So we're going to take the photo link from our Google Sheet and include it in this request by adding another field called image URLs and setting that equal to double quotes, right? With some brackets. And then we're going to drag in our photo link like so, right inside of there. Now, an important note is that the image URLs you use must be publicly accessible. This means when you click on them, they open up into the browser without having to enter a password or have an authorization header, right? Kei AI makes this very clear in their docs. It must be publicly accessible. The way I did this was going to Cloudinary and creating a free account and then uploading the photos here. Then I just clicked copy URL and pasted that into my Google Sheet like so. Super simple. By the way, I think earlier we copy and pasted the wrong curl request because it says Sora 2 Pro Text to Video. So just make sure it says Sora 2 Image to Video, and then you should be good to go. So let's give this a little test run. We'll click execute step and the image URL file type not supported. Let's see what we did wrong. Okay, so the double quotes actually need to be inside the brackets like so. There we go. Now let's try again. Okay, so we get a task ID and a record ID. Awesome, success. So now if we go into Kei AI and refresh here, you see that a process has started and it's in the running state. Okay, and it used 30 credits, which is about 15 cents. And we have the same task ID that we got in n8n. Next thing we want to do is save that task ID to our Google Sheet and set this to generating. So click plus and choose Google Sheets and select the update row and sheet node. Connect your same credential, find the document. Now it'll say mapping column mode, map each column manually. And for the column to match on, we'll choose the product. And so we'll drag in the product name from our Google Sheets trigger like so. Then we can come on down to task ID, go back to our HTTP request and drag that in from here and set the status to generating ... And now we can execute this step and it should update our Google Sheet. There we go. The status is generating and we have our task ID. Oh, we actually want to save the generated video prompt as well. Let's go back into here and go to our AI agent output and drag that into generated video prompt. There we go. Run it again. And there it is. Perfect. Now, since our video is generating and it might take anywhere from like 2 to 5 minutes, we're going to want to set up a polling method where we wait a certain amount of time, so like 10 seconds. Then we check if the video is ready and generated. And if it's not, then we wait another 10 seconds. But if it is, then we move on to the next step. So first of all, let's add our wait 10 seconds step. So we'll choose the wait node and wait amount should be 10, structured like so. And the wait unit is seconds. So now this will wait 10 seconds. And after it waits, we want to do another HTTP request so we can communicate with our Kei API. And we want to send it a GET request to see if the video is done. So let's go ahead and import another curl command. So go to Kei and select the query task GET. And we can copy the curl command here and paste that right into our n8n like before and click import. So again, that auto-configured our HTTP request with this GET method so that we can check the status of our task. But there are a few things that we have to manually configure, one of them being the task ID. So we got that task ID when we executed our other HTTP request to create the video generation process. So let's drag that in from there. We'll get rid of this hard-coded one and make it dynamic like so. Then the headers, again, it's an authorization bearer key that we need. We can actually deselect this and then come up here to authentication and choose our generic credential type that we created earlier, like so. Bearer auth key, Kei API. Perfect. All right, so I went ahead and executed this step a second ago to see if it works, and it does. We got a success message with our data. The data contains a state property with a message success, which means our video is done processing. If it hadn't been done processing, this wouldn't have been success. It would have been something else. And we get a result JSON property with two things: result watermark URLs and result URLs. So one of these is the video link with watermarks, and the other one is a video link without watermarks. What we want to do is save the video link that has no watermarks. We're going to do that after the next step. The next step is going to be for checking the state property to see if it's successful or not. If it's not successful, that means the video isn't done generating, and so we need to wait another 10 seconds and then check again. So let's add a if node like so. And we're going to drag in the state from the data like so. And we're going to check if it's equal to success. All right. If it is successful, we'll branch off this way. For now, we're not going to do anything. If it's not successful, we're going to bring it back around and wait 10 more seconds. Now let's focus on the true branch, which means the video is done processing. Like I said earlier, we want to extract the video URL that has no watermarks. So to do that, we'll click the plus icon and search for edit fields and select it from the list here. Then let's click on add field. And we actually want to see the input from our if node. So let's execute that real quick. 10 seconds is up and the if node executed and went the true branch. And so the output is being fed into this edit fields node. So we have our result.json that we can now parse. So basically how this edit fields node works is it's going to output a JSON object with whatever fields we decide to set here. So if I said hi and then the value hello and execute this step, we get this object here with the property hi and the value hello. So what we want to do is have a property of video URL, and the value should be the link, like so. So to get the link, we need to grab our result JSON and parse it a bit. So here's how we parse it. We grab the json.data.result.json and use json.parse function. Then we can grab the result URLs. And by doing this, we're grabbing the first element in the result URLs list, which is our URL. So if I execute this step, we get that video link assigned to our video URL property. Now we can add another step, which is going to save that URL to our Google Sheets. So search for Google Sheets and select the update row and sheet. Connect your credential again, choose the file. There we go. Now we're going to map each column manually. Again, you'll select the product to match on, and you can drag that in from the update row and sheet. Let's do it from the first Google Sheets trigger. There we go. Then we'll drag in our finished video link from this most recent node, edit fields. There we go. And if we execute this step, our link is saved to our Google Sheet. So the moment we've all been waiting for, let's check how this video turned out of our golden retriever dressed as a butler serving the fancy cats the cat food.
Okay, fancy dinner time. Look at you. They actually love it. All natural, premium stuff. Perfect.
Perfect. I love it. That's awesome. One thing you probably noticed is we forgot to update the status field. So let's go back into n8n and update this to completed. And if we execute the step again, there we go. Completed with our video link. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for the workflow. It's pretty much good to go. I think the final thing we should do is just update some of these names for the nodes so that it's more descriptive and we know what's going on. If somebody else were to come in here, we want them to kind of understand what's happening just from reading off the names of the nodes. So for example, this HTTP request can be renamed to something like generate video. And this one can be named to get video. The AI agent can be AI video generation prompt agent. We will rename the wait to wait 10 seconds. Rename the if to is video done. Rename the edit fields to build video URL. Make sure to save your workflow every now and again. Let's clean it up by clicking this button. It'll tidy everything up. Those are just a couple best practices to keep in mind when you're building workflows to make them production ready. And one of the most important things you can do is to test your workflow very thoroughly after you're done. That way you make sure there are no bugs along the way or edge cases that you have to handle. So let's go back into our Google Sheet, add a bunch of more rows and test the video generation. All right, guys, so we got a couple more rows added in here. The first one is Ember Glow Cold Brew Concentrate, and here's what the photo looks like. And then we have Vital Fuel Protein Shake, and here's what the photo looks like. All right, I set both of the statuses to ready, so we're gonna be able to test if the automation can handle 2 at a time. So let's go in here and execute the workflow and see what happens. It looks like both of those items were filtered, and so 2 of them are being sent to the agent, and the agent will process 1 at a time and generate the prompt for each. Okay, the video generation went off 2 times. Let's check the Kei. Yep, we've got 2 running processes. So this polling method is working. It's waiting 10 seconds. Then it's requesting to see if the video is done. It's not. So then it loops back and waits another 10 seconds. This has happened about 3 times so far. We'll see how many times it needs to wait before the videos are done. And I'm really curious to see if this polling method is going to work for 2 videos at a time. I think it should. Okay, it just finished up and it looks like the polling went off 26 times. And it built 2 video URLs and updated the row 2 times. So everything looks good on this front. Let's check the sheet. There we go. We got completed statuses for both and the video link. So let's check these out. We got the Ember Glow Cold Brew Concentrate. Let's see the video.
No cafe queue today. Ember Glow does it in seconds. So smooth, 0 gut burn. Love that the bottle's recyclable. All right, time to work.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good, actually. Huh. It started off by saying,
no cafe queue today.
No cafe line today.
Ember Glow does it in seconds. So smooth, 0 gut burn. Love that the bottle's recyclable.
Went over all the features. It mentioned how there's no gut burn, and I'm guessing it said that because we clarified how it's low acid cold brew. And it also said, I love how the packaging is recyclable, and that touches on the sustainable packaging feature. Awesome. So let's check out the Vital Fuel protein shake video now.
I go to after workouts. 25 grams, no lactose. Actually tastes smooth. So smooth. Perfect for days I skip a sit-down breakfast.
That one was definitely a little rough. There were some weird things happening, like the cap being on while she's drinking it. Little issues with the jacket here at the end. The commentary did sound pretty good, and it touched on all the product features. I wonder if we switch to the pro version of Sora 2, if these videos would turn out a bit better. And that's the nice thing about using Kei API. We can quickly jump into the docs here and grab the correct model name, so Sora 2 Pro image to video, and go into our workflow and just paste it right into here. And it's that simple to change the model you want to use for the video generation. Also, if you don't want to use Sora 2, there's other options in Kei like VO3, Kling, Wan. If you guys end up using these models, let me know in the comments how it goes. Now, if I were trying to generate really high quality videos for my business, I'd probably end up using Sora 2 Pro instead of the base model that we've been using this entire video, or I'd use VO3. These are going to cost a bit more than the base model of Sora 2 and take a lot more time to generate, but they might be worth it in certain situations. If you guys want to download this workflow for completely free, I have a link in the description to my school community. You'll join, find the video, and you can download the .json file that you can then upload into n8n by clicking import from file, and you'll have the template ready to go. Joining the community is a great way to network with like-minded people who are also interested in AI automation. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like on the video and subscribe. There are a lot of opportunities with automations like this, so I hope this helped, and I'll see you in the next video.